Hi, I'm Shayna Robinson, a program officer with the Internet Society Foundation. And today we're talking about decolonizing the internet. The internet can proliferate inequality and injustice, especially when its design is not inclusive, nor its designers diverse. The internet can also invalidate traditional forms of knowledge production and knowledge sharing. And it has the power to erase languages and cultures, but it doesn't have to. Today, we're exploring some research from our research program that supports an exploration of this topic. I'm here today with Nima Iyer from Policy Uganda, a civic tech organization, and we're exploring her project, Are We Together? The Role of Local Languages and the Lack of for Digital Inclusion. Nima, what is the role of language in decolonizing the internet?
Hi, Shayna. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me on this chat. And that is such a good question because currently only about 29 languages have digital vitality. So when you think about the internet, most of the languages on it are, imperialist or Western languages, and local languages are much less prominent. And as part of this question, this research, we really wanted to understand what is the internet like for someone who doesn't speak one of these major languages? And, thinking to the thematic area of decolonization, what does that mean for digital colonialism, where hegemonic or dominant languages are threatening and jeopardizing the ability for local language speakers to express themselves, to communicate, to take in information? And so we had a number of questions that came out, kind of like you're asking us. We're also very curious, right? So that's what's driving this research project. So how do the predominant languages that digital platforms exist in impact the access, the usability, and the safety of the platform and their content? So that's a big question that we have. How is it enabling or disabling people from basic access and usability if you can't speak these languages? We also wanted to understand the concept of trust. So how do people trust content in different languages on the internet, and how is that fueling things like disinformation and malinformation? We also wanted to understand what are the barriers for users and content creators who try to communicate in local languages, and then what are the potential biases and blind spots in how digital platforms moderate content. So that's becoming a very big issue as well, as more and more AI is being used for content moderation. What does that mean for, again, for information on online spaces? And then the last question we had is, based on all this research that we're doing, what recommendations can we give to digital platform developers, policymakers, to improve the accessibility of digital content? So our research has four main phases. The first is a diagnosis, where we want to understand what's happening. Then we have a discovery phase where we are doing interviews, focus group discussions, and ethnographic diaries to see how people consume different types of information. And then we're synthesizing the information and disseminating it out. So just to wrap up what I was saying, we're focusing on four main areas, which are access, usability, safety, and trust. And the project will take place in four countries, which are Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, and India. And we have chosen these countries based on the diversity of languages. So Uganda, for example, has over 100 languages that are used. We picked Ethiopia because they have their own script, which is kind of rare in the African context. And also there have been a lot of questions around content moderation with what's going on in Ethiopia. And in India, there's again a very huge diversity of languages and script. And a lot of these languages are improving in online spaces. So we wanted to see, what's going on there. And we've picked Hindi and Tamil as two different languages to sort of see different kinds of case studies of what's really going on. So we're really excited about this research and to see what comes out of it.
And I'm really excited here at the foundation because I think a lot of the things that you've touched on really align so well to the thematic area that we wish to explore with our research program. Another question, what impact do you hope to see from this project?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're really hoping that this body of research can support the linguistic academic field in general in terms of how do we preserve languages, because that is something that we're seeing that, for example, as more kids are watching YouTube, that they tend to shy away from their local languages and they tend to speak English and they tend to have American accents based on what they're watching online. So what does this mean for preserving local languages? That's a big question that we had. So that's the academic side of things. But the other side is, hopefully that this body of knowledge can be used by tech companies in how they design their tech policy, but also by product designers who are focused on user experience and user interfaces, so that as they are developing tech platforms, that they can take these issues into account, and hopefully that can be useful as the internet grows and, you know, as there are more tech platforms, basically. So yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I think that's all the time we have. If you want to learn more about our research program, find us online at isocfoundation.org. And you can find Nima at...
You can find all our work at policy.org. That's POLLICY.org.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.